Good morning, good morning, good morning. No, that's not going to work. First of all, I'm going to wait till you guys get seated because I value your time as well as mine. And we're going to make sure today that we are present. There's a few more people. So as she just mentioned, my name is Laticia Action Jackson. And I tell people with a name like that, either you bring it or you go home. So which do you think I'm going to do today? Bring it. I need to go. Which do you think I'm going to do today? Bring it. I am going to make sure today that each and every one of you arrived one way, but you're going to leave another way. One of the main reasons why I am passionate about the work that I do for women for the last 15 years is that I am a survivor of domestic violence, military sexual trauma, and childhood abuse. How many of you can raise your hand and tell the truth? Because today, there's no one else around but us. And there's no faking it till we make it. How many of you are tired of going to conferences? And I see your head shaking already. How many of you are tired of showing up, faking it till you make it? Raise your hand. Okay? Because let's be honest, that is what we're taught as women. Fake it till you make it look pretty, but we're here today to grow. We're here today to dig into roots of why do we not assert ourselves? Why do we not advocate for ourselves? Why do we not walk into a room and own ourselves? I didn't say own the people in the room, I said own ourselves. I see you're shaking your head, okay? In today's session, there's a couple of things that I intend to do. I want to teach you how to become an assertive communicator. When you hear the word assertive, what do you think of automatically? Throw a word out for me. Powerful, strong. When you hear the words assertive woman, what do you think? Throw words out for me. Oh, I like that. Somebody else tell me when I need to come down because we're in a long distance relationship and I don't like that. Coming down, baby. Let's do this together. When you think of the word assertive, what do you think, pretty lady?
Me?
Yes.
For women, like what women?
Yeah.
I don't think this, but I know it comes off as aggressive or, yeah.
Yes. How many of you have met a woman who comes off bold? She's passionate, she's powerful, but underneath your breath, you're like, she thinks she's all that. Come on, raise your hand. Yeah. I told you today we're going to get open and honest about a lot of things that we need to talk about. We are going to talk about how do we arrive at a place where many of us really struggle to assert ourselves. But before doing that, I want to take time to thank the Better Business Bureau for doing this for us. I became a mom for the first time at 44 years old, and I will tell you, just like many of you, we invest in everyone else but ourselves. I see so many heads shaking. Today is about you showing up for you unapologetically. You know, our daughter today, when I was getting ready for work, she's like, Mommy, are you going to take me to school? And I said, no, baby girl, Mommy's going to work. How many of you have daughters? You being here today is saying a lot to her. Our children watch us. Building a business sets a tone for the next generation of women. Do you realize until 1980, as a business owner, you could not go into a bank? She's smiling. Did you know that? And get a business loan? Raise your hands if you knew that. 1980. If you wanted to open a business, you had to have a male or a co-signer. How many of you knew that? But see, today we're not there anymore. Today we're going to learn how to assert ourselves in order to ask for the things we want, need, and desire. How does that feel to you to be able to speak up for yourself? Give me one word. Clap, come on. Yes. How does it feel knowing that you have the words and the language to speak up? How does that feel? You guys are quiet and we need to talk. I know it's scary Because we're going to go through today about why we struggle as women to assert ourselves. I can't tell you how many times I've been told that I'm aggressive. There's nothing aggressive about me. I am very assertive because we've been programmed not to be assertive. But before we get into that, stand to your feet. Come on, let's do this. I told you, we're going to make magic today, baby. I want for you, when I say go, to turn to the woman next to you. You are absolutely gorgeous. You're welcome. I want for you to turn to the woman next to you, and I want for you to say to her, I see, that gets me emotional, the power within you. Please go. I see you, girl. I see you, girl. Thank you, so are you. Thank you. And I want for you to say it with conviction. Ask me why I just had you do that. Ask me why. I'll tell you why. Because many of us don't understand the power within ourselves. In ourselves. When I was healing through domestic violence and military sexual trauma, I was in a very dark space. I was in a place where I asked God to take my life. But God is the giver of life. And everywhere I went, I was looking around for people to affirm me, to validate me, to tell me something that was going to heal me. But the moment came to me when I realized that I got to do the inner work. I never lost my power. I just didn't believe that I had it. Your power is not outside of you. Yes, your power is within you. So therefore, if our power is within us, the only thing we got to do is learn how to activate it. You can clap. You can clap. Have a seat, pretty ladies. So each and every one of you should have on your desk a sheet that says ACT, A-C-T. Does everyone have a sheet? Do you have it, Tisa? The sheet? We ran out, okay. If you don't have one, please share with your neighbor. May I see that? It looks like this. So today we are going to learn how to communicate. There's extra. Who needs a sheet? I'm going to ask for you at your table to share. I love your necklace. You're welcome. Raise your hand, ladies. Okay, you two. Can you two share? You look gorgeous. Yes, I do. Thank you. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, does everyone have a sheet now? Can we say who? Can we say who? All right. Y'all look at that picture of that chick right there. Y'all know her? Y'all know her? So listen, today I want to really teach you how to communicate. Can someone tell me the 4 different styles of communication? Someone raise your hand. Okay, I have some asks from you before I get started. I'm going to ask you to be present. I'm going to ask you to participate. And I'm going to ask you to be purposeful about being in this room today. You could have spent your time anywhere else. Today, I want for you to engage. Today, I want for you to speak up for yourself. That's what assertive communication is about. Don't worry about the woman to your left. Don't worry about what she's going to think, what she's going to say. Her thoughts belong to her. Okay? Show up for yourself today, because when you walk out the room, the goal is for you to do what? Be better than how you walked in. Someone please tell me the 4 different types of communication.
I'll give it a stat. Social, direct, analytical, and I'm drawing a blank on the last one.
Keep going, it's okay. Someone help her out.
Emotional. I'm guessing.
Your guesses were good, thank you. Does anyone else know the 4 common types of communication. What is your name?
Angelina.
Miss Angelina, can you please stand up and tell us? Okay.
Passive, assertive, aggressive,
Okay.
and passive, assertive, aggressive, and not communicating.
You were close.
Avoidance.
You're close. So if you're writing notes, because I'm telling you, you're going to get into a situation this week, and you're going to need this. There are 4 main types of ways that we communicate. Passively, passive-aggressive, aggressive, or assertive. I'm going to go over that again. Passive, passive-aggressive, aggressive, and assertive. And here's the thing about the communications that I just went over. Many of us grew up in very dysfunctional homes where communication was modeled for us. And so now as adult women, we don't even understand why we communicate the way that we do. So if you see on your sheet, we're going to go through, I'm going to give you 3 main letters. It's called ACT. I'm going to help you acknowledge what is assertive communication. I'm going to help you confront the barriers that prevent you from communicating assertively. And then the T, I'm going to help you take charge by creating actions to help you better communicate. So let's talk about the different communication styles. And as you're sitting here, I want for you to think about situations you found yourself in with these type of communicators. And you may even be this type of communicator. The first one is passive. A passive communicator is a yes woman. She shook her head. Somebody said, yeah, that's me. Raise your hand if you're a yes woman. Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves. Okay? The danger about a passive communicator is that this woman will say yes to things that she knows she doesn't want to do. I see a lot of head nods. Raise your hand if you consistently find yourself saying yes to things because you're afraid of either neglect, you're afraid of rejection, or you're afraid of being seen not as qualified or needed. Raise your hand. Passive communicators do not worry about what they need. The passive communicator is always about, well, if I tell her no, then what is she going to think? I see you guys in the middle shaking your head. What is your name, sir? Michael. Thank you for your engagement and participation, okay? I want for you to start thinking about in your business, in your personal life, who is passive and are you passive? The next type of person is passive aggressive. I do not get along very well with passive aggressive people. The communication with a passive aggressive person looks like this. What is your name?
Amy.
Hey, Amy, can you do this task for me? Say yes, please. Sure. Does she really want to do it? So Amy said yes to me, but the whole time she's going to go behind my back and talk about how miserable I am, how bad of a boss I am, how I always ask her to do things. See, the passive aggressive person says yes, but then they begrudgingly do the very things you ask them to do and they complain about it. I see a lot of head nods. Can you raise your hand? Can you think of one person like that in your life? Oh boy, look at the hands. A passive-aggressive woman consistently finds herself stressed and overwhelmed. You know why? Tell me why. Go ahead.
She's not stating what she needs.
Harboring resentment.
Do you hear that? When you agree to do something that in the depths of your belly you know you don't want to do, you don't have the capacity to do, and you don't have the mental, emotional resources to do, you are ignoring your own needs and you're actually neglecting yourself. I see a lot of head nods. And then we have the aggressive communicator. I don't get along with this communicator either because you're not going to bully me. The aggressive communicator is a woman who tries to bully people around to get what she wants. How many of you know this type of communicator? The language is very demeaning. The tone is very loud. And sometimes you may have been working and they'll hover over you. How many times have you ever worked in corporate America or worked with contracts where you ran into an aggressive communicator? Raise your hand. Oh boy. How does that make you feel when you communicate with aggressive women or aggressive people? Use the word to describe it. Come on. Small. Stressed. See, the main goal of an aggressive communicator is to make sure they're heard, they're seen, and they get the outcome they want. I'm going to say something to you. When you don't speak up for yourself, the people around you benefit from your silence. Oops. I'm going to say that again. When you don't speak up for yourself, the people around you benefit from your silence. Sit with that. Because culturally, and we're going to dive into that when we confront these issues, culturally, women are taught, be nice. I see a lot of head nods. There's nothing wrong with nice, but nice and kindness are two different things. We'll cover that soon. Your goal is not to be liked. How many of you have ever heard what's called the likability conundrum? Raise your hand. So there's this theory that you as a woman can run an amazing business that's profitable, not just has revenue. You can do well in your career, you can do well in leadership, but if people don't like you, they don't consider you as capable. That digs into the roots of culture, that a woman is not supposed to lead. A woman is not supposed to speak up for herself. And you know who some of the greatest predators of that is? Other women. Who just said, ooh? I told y'all we weren't faking it today. How many times has a woman walked in a room? I'm about to get in all y'all's business. Yeah, I know, because it's real. How many times have a woman walked into a room when you've been somewhere, you've never met her, you've never spoke to her, but she walked in with a sense of pride. She walked in with her shoulders back. She walked in greeting herself, feeling good about herself. And you either said it to the girl next to you or within yourself, she thinks she's all that. Raise your hand if you are guilty of such charge. Okay? Because you were conditioned not to believe that you exist. You were conditioned to believe if you don't want what's offered to you, if you don't want to be treated the way you're treated, if you have boundaries, you're the issue. I see a lot of head nods, okay? And then the last type of communicator is the communicator that I am. An aggressive communicator has the ability to consistently, concisely articulate their wants, needs, desires, and boundaries, but they also care about the wants, needs, and boundaries of others. Assertive, thank you. Assertive, thank you. The assertive woman says, hey, I don't agree with that, but tell me more. She asks open-ended questions. She allows the people around her to have different views. How many of you got dogmatic people in your life? Well, this is how it's going to be and this is how it is. Raise your hand. My mother's like that. And for years, because I was young, could not speak back. I could not speak up for myself. So what do you think I learned to do? How do you think I learned to communicate? Someone tell me. No. I became aggressive. Because I'm going to yell so you can hear me. I'm going to yell so my point can be across. We learn very ineffective communication styles from how we are raised. Okay? So let's go over before we go to the C, where we're going to confront this stuff. Somebody tell me the 4 different types of communication. Let's do them together. That was very passive. Let's do this again because we are powerful and we are going to speak up for ourselves. Let's do this again. You ready? Let's go. Okay? 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 Yeah, baby. Clap your hands. You did that. Good job. That's what I tell my daughter when she does great things. Great job. I love that little human. So I'm passionate about this because one of the reasons why I experienced military sexual trauma is because I left I was 18 when I went in the military. I left my mother's house where speaking up was dangerous. Where speaking up, it was like, be quiet, this is what happens, this is what goes on. So did I know how to use my voice? Did you notice what I said? I didn't say, did I have a voice? What did I say? Because do you know how many of us have sat for years accepting negative things because we've been programmed to think, well, I don't have a voice. Or we tell women things like, well, she needs to find her voice. No, because if you find a voice, it's somebody else's. You must develop your voice. Do you hear me? I hadn't had the opportunity in my childhood to develop my voice. The only thing I knew was to struggle. The only thing I knew was to yell because I never was seen and heard. Let's be honest. How many of you communicate dysfunctionally? Raise your hand. There's no judgment because I'm telling all my business. Huh?
It can depend on the situation and the person.
Right. Because see, sometimes we communicate out of fear. When I feel threatened, even now when I talk to my mom, because now I have the words, when I feel anxious or I feel threatened or I feel disrespected, the language I have now is, Mom, I have full confidence that you will figure out what's going on within you, but right now I'm going to disengage because you're disrespecting me. You hear that language? It's I language. I know that you will figure it out. What did I do with that language? I means what? Ownership. And then when I said, I have full confidence you will figure it out. What am I doing? I'm putting it back on her. When you learn how to communicate, you take that stuff from you and you give people their stuff back. Well, I'm upset because of what you said. No. You're upset because you chose to react versus respond to what I said. Yeah, you can go ahead, clap. Yeah, it's powerful. I am telling you, when you learn to communicate, the people that used to use you, the people that used to disrespect you, they push. Because remember, when you don't speak up, who benefits? Have you ever thought about that? Because y'all are looking like, yeah. Have you really thought about how people have benefited from you in your business? You knew you should have charged more. You knew you should have said no to that. You knew that you should not be taking phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody texting you because of their emergency. Boundaries happen when you learn to speak up for yourself. Where's my people that don't like to set boundaries? Raise your hand. Ooh. People like y'all. Yeah, everybody's shaking their head. I can't tell you how many times people have told me you're difficult. No, you just can't use me. You can write that down. Yeah, you can take that. There's nothing difficult about me, but I know my boundaries, okay? So we're gonna move on now to the letter C, confront. Where do we learn where not to speak up for ourselves? Let's talk. Because we have cultural norms, we have family dynamics, and we have social expectations. Let's confront some of this stuff. How many of you grew up where you could only be seen and not heard? Raise your hands. Let's get real, okay? So in my culture, as an African-American woman, it was always taught to us that our parents was always right. I don't get it, but that's how I grew up. So when I learned to start speaking back to my mother would say things like this: I'm your mother, do what I say. And I'm like, but I don't feel that way. Well, now you're disrespecting me. No, I'm speaking up for myself. But I was confused because I knew certain things didn't feel right within myself. How many times have you found yourself in a situation, in a conversation, contracts, meetings, where someone has disrespected you, you knew that it felt yucky inside, but you didn't speak up? Raise your hand. Okay? Where did you learn that behavior? Childhood. Say that again.
Yeah, in your childhood.
See, we're all adults, but we've got little boys and girls inside of us. Many of the ways that we communicate has a lot to do with where we grew up. I know a lot of times when I work with women from Asian cultures, they have a community and a belief system where you do not disrespect your elders. And even to a point where if they go to school, they're going to school for what their mother and dad told them to go to school for. And if they chose to dishonor that or to say differently, it was considered dishonorable. I see a lot of heads shaking. You grew up with your own, thank you, Kyle, your own family dynamics. I have a 3-year-old, my husband and I'm very open with her. I'm very, very, very open with her. And we have accountability in our house. We don't say sorry, we say I apologize, and then we say what we're apologizing for. Because see, sorry is a poor excuse for a lack of accountability. I said it. If you don't like it, it's true. When you say I apologize for, so I told my mother this, and the first thing she said to me, oh, so she gets to talk back? And I said, no, she gets to express. How many of you lack expression because you've gotten so used to just yes, no, okay, sure? Raise your hand. Because I'm going to tell you right now, heart disease is the #1 killer of women, and one of the correlating factors is stress. And we know through research, when you don't communicate effectively and articulate your wants, needs, desires, and boundaries, you have a high rate of stress. How many of you have that boss or someone you work with that constantly runs over your boundaries? Why do you allow it? Can you get the microphone to this beautiful lady right here with this dark hair? Because I need for you to start asking yourself, when something doesn't feel right, why do I keep accepting it? What inside of me needs to either be needed, liked, approved, or affirmed that I keep putting up with it? Because the moment you realize that your power is within you and you don't need external validation, I promise you no will be a complete sentence. Write that down. Doesn't that feel like, ooh, what do you mean I can say no? When I worked in corporate America, they didn't like me. Because, see, they wanted to control me. That's why I became an entrepreneur. That's why I started a business. I've never been aggressive. But if I don't like something, oh, honey, the answer is no. And depending on the time of the day, I may say, no, thank you. Because, see, for the people that don't like no, they push. I like for you to push because I'm a push back. And many of you are afraid to push back because you've never been taught to assert yourself. Well, if I speak up, they're going to think I'm mean. Who cares? They think what they think already. What do you think of yourself? Are you not worth articulating what you think? I have the most amazing husband in the whole world. And I remember when we were dating, we got into a disagreement. He was like, are we good? I'm like, no, I'm not. My husband at the time hated confrontation. I stepped into it. I still love it. Because, see, when you don't confront things, you don't change them. And we've been taught that confrontation is negative. It's not. It's just like going in your house every day in the refrigerator. You know there's something there that stinks, but you don't want to deal with it. So you just kind of spray something in there, but you come back 3 days later and it still stinks. And then you've got to take it out and deal with it. I'm going to challenge y'all. Y'all got some stinking communication relationships in your life. Yeah, y'all laughing because you know it's true. And I promise you, if you don't confront how people talk to you, and if you do not change what you accept, it will continue. Who said that's right? Yeah. How many of you can feel that like deep, like, ooh, it's real? I used to work at a job where every other day people would try to say negative racial things to me. And I looked at them one day and I said, listen, you will never see my resume. I owe you no explanation. I didn't get here from affirmative action, and today it stops. You've got areas in your life where you need to shut it. You can clap. Go ahead. Because I'm going to tell you, what it did was it psychologically had me questioning myself. How many of you are in relationships with people that say things to you that you know that they shouldn't, and then you walk away like, well, maybe I am that. No. I'm not saying don't work on yourself. We're not in Disneyland where we're going to pretend like everything's roses and Mickey Mouse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the language that people continually use towards you, that diminishes you, that gaslights you, that disrespects you. And sometimes it's your own parents. Sometimes it's your partners. Sometimes it's your coworkers. Sometimes it's people you own contracts with. I'm going to tell you, you're going to walk away today and you're going to be hyper aware of how people talk to you. Because no one, as women, no one teaches us this. When I see bold women, I love it because they're not being bold and assertive doesn't mean that you're rude. It doesn't mean that you're hurtful. And that's what we get confused about as women. Well, if I assert myself, I'm being disrespectful. No, if you assert yourself, it's self-agency. If you assert yourself, it's authenticity. If you assert yourself, you can go to bed at night without tossing and turning because you're replaying what you could have said in that meeting, but you never said in the meeting, and you got another meeting the next day. Yeah, you felt down, didn't you? Okay? I want for you to also look at your family dynamics. If you have relationships in your family and you've got people that you've known for a very long time say things to you, I'm going to give you the language to have the conversation. Hey, Mom. Your mom.
Yes, daughter?
I like your haircut, by the way, Mom. Hey, I wanted to take some time with you. I don't know what you meant by it, but the other day you said this. What did you mean by that?
I meant exactly what I said.
I appreciate the clarity. I need for you to understand I don't like being spoken to that way. And moving forward, if you choose to use that language towards me, you and I will not have a conversation for a very long time. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I do.
I didn't ask her to respect me. I first clarified, what did you mean by that? Because see, when you use I language, it's taking ownership. If I came to her and be like, you always talk down to me, what is going to happen with her? Defense. I language opens the conversation. You language creates defense. So when you need to have a hard conversation with your coworker, your contractor, wherever you work at, and someone has said something, and here's the thing, it doesn't mean that it was disrespectful to them. It felt disrespectful to you. I'm going to say that again. If they say, well, I didn't disrespect you, I felt disrespected, dismissed, gaslit, ignored, whatever word that you feel, when you said, what did you mean by that? And see, asking it through an open-ended question, one, puts the defenses down, but it also requires an explanation. Just sit with that. Because see, people, they like to brush you off. I didn't say nothing. I didn't mean that.
What did you mean?
What did you mean by that? You know, my favorite saying is, can you provide me with more clarity on that? And I get quiet. See, we're afraid to have silence in conversations. We like fillers. Because see, as women, we're afraid of the tension. I don't care if you're upset with me. You'll get over it. You'll be okay. But see, we want to take the tension away from other people. Therefore, we don't have the hard conversations. Or we'll bring them up and say, never mind, never mind. How many of you are my never mind women? Raise your hands. Because see, what happens is, depending on the type of communicator, if there's something you want to say and you are working with an aggressive communicator, the goal for them is to bully you to where you shut down. How many of you have got people in your life like that? They talk to you in a certain way and you just shut down. Raise your hands. I'm going to let you in a little secret that they won't tell you, but I'm going to tell you. They do that intentionally because they know you. And they know how you operate, and they know that they can bully you. People will only do what you allow them to. I'll give an example. I went out this weekend with a group of friends of ours, and the restaurant was very loud. I first want to say that. However, I asked the waitress to come next to me, and I was asking about the menu, never been to this place before, and she obviously was very bothered by me asking about her food items. And she kept giving me this like, what energy? And I said to her respectfully, do you have a problem with serving me right now? Open-ended question. No. I feel like you're rushing me. I feel as if you don't want to explain your menu to me. Do you feel that way? No. I said, okay. Moving forward, either you're going to help me navigate this menu, or I'm choosing to walk out because I choose not to spend my money or I don't get good service. Why do I have to accept you being snappy with me? If you don't want to do this job, go find another one. But most people would have just sat there. My older sister would have sat there, and she would have tapped me and been like, Tish, I got this. And you know what? For the rest of the experience, she was jolly. She was willing to serve me because I deserved that. Stop not speaking up because you're afraid of the tension from the confrontation. Okay? So we went over A, which is to acknowledge. We went over C, which means to confront. And now we're going to talk about T, to take charge. It requires action steps for you to move forward in this area of your life. How many of you right now can identify at least 2 people you need to have hard conversations with? Raise your hands. How does that make you feel?
A little bit nervous.
You can hold it.
Okay. A little bit nervous about it, but I think that ultimately I feel better about myself
Oof.
and get more confidence.
Can you stay there?
Yeah.
Hold on. What is your name?
Amy.
Hi, Miss Amy. Did you hear what Miss Amy said?
Feeling better about myself.
Just sit with that. You know what happens when you don't speak up for yourself? You're really dishonoring yourself. Confidence has nothing to do with just skills and ability. It has everything to do with intrinsic worth. And your eyes are beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Did you hear what I said? Thank you. We're taught as women, confidence is about our abilities to do things. That's not the full spectrum of confidence. If you continue to allow people to disrespect you and you don't assert yourself, you start to diminish your self-worth. You start to believe, I'm not confident. Confidence and competence are 2 different things. You don't feel confident because you allow people to talk to you that way. And the more you start speaking up for yourself, and hear me clearly, Miss Amy, the people that speak to you the way that they do now, they're going to do 2 things. They're going to sit with you and say, oh, I never knew I talked to you like that. Or they're going to push back and say, well, that's a you issue. Be ready for the tension. But don't run from the tension. You create boundaries, and you also create consequences if you cross those boundaries. That's when you start to feel better about yourself. There's nothing outside of you that's going to give you confidence. You deserve to be respected. Do you guys hear me? You have an intrinsic worth. It's not about how much money your business makes. It doesn't matter about your business titles. It matters that you exist. Your mere existence warrants respect. That's why people don't like me, because I demand respect from myself. Y'all thought I was going to say I demand respect from them. You can clap. Yeah. I didn't say I demand respect from them. I demand respect from myself. Therefore, if any of you choose to disrespect me, I will articulate why I will not allow it, but I'm going to disengage and remove myself. We're putting all of the onus on other people. Well, they should see my value. They should know my worth. You should see your value. You should see your worth, because if you did, you start speaking up for yourself. You can clap. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm having this conversation with you because we don't talk about real things anymore. When I started my company, Empower Coaching Academy, I was tired of empowerment with the letter E, because we sit and we clap our hands and we're like, woo, go girl. We don't need another cheering squad. We need to get to the roots of why do we do what we do? Why do we accept what we do? And why don't we believe that we're worth what we want, need, and desire? That's the nasty work that people don't want to do, and it takes time. And it takes being bold and brave enough to lose people. My circle's like this. It's my husband, it's God, my child, and one other person. I got rid of all of them. Because when I sat back and I did an audit, and I asked myself, is this a relationship of reciprocity? Is this a relationship of respect? Is this a relationship of honor? The answer was no. But see, I came from a background of mental and emotional childhood abuse. I went through military sexual trauma. I went through domestic violence. So my sense of self, I chased relationships. I chased opportunities. But baby, let me tell you, when I went on a 13-year healing journey, I don't chase nothing but my 3-year-old. You can clap. So take charge. I want for you to create one action step today. Even if you just journal down the conversation you need to have. Because sometimes confronting things is scary. If you need to go in the mirror and have the conversation with yourself, be like, girl, yes. Why do you allow that disrespect? Because I don't love you, I don't value you, I don't see your value, I don't see your worth, I don't know how. But then you turn around and say, I love you. Stand to your feet. We're going to do this now. Stand to your feet. Let's do it now. I'm going to have you put your hand on your heart. This is not time to judge yourself. This is time to be compassionate, to be loving, to be kind, but honest. Dear self, repeat after me. Dear self, please forgive me. I ask you to forgive me for allowing disrespectful people to speak to me disrespectfully. I ask that you forgive me for not seeing my own worth. I ask that you forgive me for not speaking up when I know that it didn't feel right. I ask you for the courage to see myself. I ask you for the courage to walk in my internal power. And I ask you for the boldness to remove myself from anything that no longer serves me. Let's say that last one again. I ask you for the boldness, to remove myself, from anything and anyone that no longer serves me. Don't rush through that. Just stay with that. Because I'm going to tell you, everywhere you go, you're there. Communication is not just about the styles, and we went over the 4 communications. Have a seat, please. It's not just about the styles and type of communication. It's about the roots of why we communicate the way we do. So today, before you leave here, I want for you to start realizing one important thing. There is nothing outside of you that will ever define your worth. There is nothing outside of you that will ever define your worth. The sheet that I handed out to you guys, I want for you, when you find yourself in a very hard situation, to go through that ACT strategy, that step by step. I created that because I've worked with thousands of people, 99% women. It's not enough to acknowledge that you need to stick up for yourself. It's not enough to acknowledge you need to be more assertive. It's not enough to acknowledge, man, I get angry really quick. You have to confront things. And oftentimes, confrontation for us as women feels really hard. It's going to be hard, but do it anyways. And when you take charge, think about how much more energy you're going to have to open up for people who will come in and honor you, people who will do business with you from an ethical standpoint. I don't go anywhere to speak unless I am honored for my gift. I know I'm good at what I do. But that little broken girl that couldn't see herself, I gave myself away to everybody. I want for you to start looking at your prices as a business owner. See, people don't pay me for an hour or 30 minutes to speak. They pay me for 25 years of excellence. I have 4 degrees. I have a dual master's degree. I've written 13 books. I've been on ABC, 10, if you type in Laticia Action Jackson, I've been everywhere. You pay me for my value. And here's the kicker. No one outside of me gets to determine what I'm worth. No one outside of you gets to put a price on you. And see, that's what happens when we don't speak up for ourselves. It's like we're on discount. It's like we're on a clearance rack. And people just come through and rummage it through it. There's no way in the world you can walk into a diamond store and put your hands on a 5-6 carat diamond. You know why? Do you know why? Because it's protected and they know its value. No one can go inside of the BMW car lot and say, hey, this car is too expensive. I'll give you $20,000. Because see, BMW is the ultimate driving machine and they know it. I want you to start thinking about you are the ultimate version of you. And wherever you see those little cracked pieces, you're still a masterpiece. All of the stuff that I went through, I would never, ever change it because the boldness that I stand before you today, the conviction that I have in my spirit, there was darkness in me like I wanted to take my own life. I was in so much pain. And everywhere I went, the pain went with me. It didn't change with a new outfit. It didn't change with a new zip code. It didn't change with a new car. But when I sat with myself and God and I said, I'm ready. Your business is a reflection of your internal understanding of yourself. We don't talk about this stuff. We just give hard skills, soft skills, cash flow, balance sheets. Well, your cash flow will be flowing more if you understood how valuable you were. How many of you ever really thought about that? That your business is a reflection of your internal sense of self. Raise your hand if you ever thought about that. Because I'm going to tell you, early in the days when I started speaking or doing what I do, I would say yes to something and then I would walk away and be like, why did I do that? Because see, I didn't see how great I was. No more. A couple of things that I want for you to do. Put this somewhere in your office, on your fridge, in your journal. And I want you to think about where in your life and your communication do you need to act. On the bottom of that, there's a QR code. If you want to work one-on-one with me, and I'm talking about work. I'm not a motivator. I'm a transformer. There's a QR code on the bottom of that form. Fill it out, and my assistant will reach out to you. I know that each and every one of you showed up today because there's a better version of you waiting for you. There's a version of you that you look in the mirror every day and sometimes you don't like what you see. It's not what you see, it's what you don't see. What did that mean to you when I just said that? I see your head nodding. Tell me more.
That we have our reality within us and we just need to transform ourselves.
Yeah. Did you hear what this beautiful lady said? Your reality is within yourself. You have the power within yourself to change the things that you are no longer satisfied with. And just because it worked for you last year or yesterday, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in an agreement with it. Do you hear me? You get to change your mind, but you can only change your mind when you know how. I see a lot of head shaking. If you're operating a business that you're not passionate about, but there's something that you go to bed every night thinking about and you know you want to do it, do it. Stop waiting around for external validation. You want that business loan? Learn how to do it. Make sure you have your financials. Ask questions. And that little bitty internal critic of yours, name her. And when she starts talking negatively to you, be kind to her, but tell her, we're not doing that anymore. And this is why. Yes, they may say no to the business loan, but I'll go to another bank. Yes, they may not sign the contract, but I'll go to another company. Yes, like you must believe that you are her. If you bake donuts, you are the best donut maker in the world. Well, she makes them too, but she's not you. Your authenticity is your superpower. So imagine adding good communication with the intrinsic value and showing up authentically you. That's your power. I'm going to end. There's a couple of things that I ask of you. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you took any videos of me today, please tag me. I spent 2.5 years at home as a full-time mom, and I'm just now getting back to business. And let me tell you, baby, I'm about to set it on fire. Yeah. I love each and every one of you. And I want for you to understand that God has a purpose for you. Your gifts belong to you. Stop looking at the other woman, what she does, how she moves. Get in your lane, baby, and drive. That's it. I'm Laticia Jackson, baby.